to make the piece of cardboard more sturdy. And also the two lines in the middle so that we've got a little action like that come from a ruler and a pen. It's marked on the pattern. You score. It means you run your pen or a sharp object back and forth until it's ready to bend with a little scoring right there. Okay? Then you cut out a piece of felt about 1/4 of an inch smaller, and then we cut out 2 pieces of foam on the puppet. This is the top part, and it's glued on around the edge so that it makes a little pocket for your hand to go in, and the same thing on the bottom, a little pocket for your thumb to go in. And it turns out something like this. Now Kathy's put felt on the inside of these already. Red felt that has been cut out. Okay? Now that has got to go inside the mouth of the puppet. Now you can use either 1/2 inch foam or inch foam. If you're going to use a 1/2 inch puppet, you want to use 1/2 inch foam, but I use the 1/2 inch or the inch in the larger puppets too. See, it's glued with hot glue right around the edge. Now if you did want, this puppet right here has the inch, and it doesn't have the red in there yet. Alright, now if you're going to use a cloth, then we need to sew. We were going to put cloth on it. So I did this on the program with the cloth-covered foam puppets. Pin the pattern to the cloth. Remember, use a velour or some kind of a fake fur with a short nap, terry cloth. And after you pin it on the pattern on the cloth, then you sew with your machine about 1/4 of an inch around, all the way around. When you come to the mouth, we backstitched so that we can cut in and all the way around 1/4 of an inch. Then we took that off. Last time I showed how to pull it down like a stocking, and we'd already cut that part for the mouth. And then I took pins and pulled back the cloth and then pinned it all together. Remember, if you were watching last time, I said we don't want to have cold sores on the corner of the mouth, so we just glue with tacky glue or some facsimile, a little section at a time. Glue it to the mouth. Now that can be the base, or, as I said, just cloth over top to do the soft sculptured puppets. Alright, let's go on to the next stage. You already might have some soft sculpture books if you're into crafts, because this was really the rage a few years ago with the Cabbage Patch dolls. Little People Pals was by Xavier Roberts with the Cabbage Patch dolls. It was one of the first books that came out about soft sculpture and how to make the different parts of the body. Here's another one, Soft Sculpture Daydreams, Volume 1, and Soft Dolls to Make, and Blossom Children and Their Friends. If you want the addresses to any of these books, then you just, again, send a double-stamped business-sized self-addressed envelope. Mention it when you write, the addresses that you'd like, and I'll send them to you. Well, what you're going to need now is your foam-based puppet, either the one that has the cloth on it from the sewing machine, or the felt-covered puppet, the cloth-covered puppet that we've glued onto the body, to the head. Then we need some nylon stockings. There is a special kind of cloth that you can get, but nothing quite does the trick like nylon stockings. And the cheaper nylons, the better. And the bigger nylons, the better, too, especially if you're using one of the bigger heads. You need the extra large size for the extra large queen size. And like I said, the cheaper the better. It's a looser weave. I just found these at a dime store, extra large and a heavier stretchy material, and that's what I'm going to use right now. You take a pair of scissors and just start cutting to make one piece. Cut all the way through till So you get a single piece, then I cut the toe off. Now you can double it if you want it double. Now with this, you probably don't need to with this heavy of a cloth. You can make it single. And there are several ways that you can do this. There's Joyce experimented, and I've experimented too. But you can use two different ways. At first, she was making them over the top and then joining at the sides. That was one way. Another way, when the puppet heads were bigger, and I'm going to show you these sample heads, was over the front, and then it wouldn't reach. So then another piece joining it on the back, and the seams would be on the sides, like, let me see which one, right here. See, one piece in the front and another piece in the back, and hand stitched all the way around on the back side. And a lot of them are double, because if they're double, then the fiber foam doesn't show as much. It's smoother. Then too, you can use this kind of polyester fiberfill, but it's just a little bit lumpy. Especially, it's okay for some of the character puppets, but I've really been finding that this batting, you see this all over for quilts, this batting is a lot smoother for the pretty girls, like the Bride and Peggy, and when you want the puppets to look real pretty, and that's a lot smoother. Alright, so let's see what we're doing here. You need pins, of course scissors, and I start generally right back here by the back of the head and start pinning across here, pinning and stretching and putting in the fiber fill. Now the first kind I'm going to show you, the cloth, the nylon, goes right inside. You want to do this slowly. I'm trying to do it fast for television, for this video. And the hot glue gun, now when you get it where you want to right there, lift that up and put about 3 light streaks of hot glue right across the center. Not too much and not out too far. Let it dry a little bit, and then careful because it burns. That's why it's nicer to have the crafty kind that doesn't burn as badly. Stick your hand inside and hold that until it dries. Now don't put glue here or here, but just to the very back to secure it. I'm going to go on to another puppet now so you see where we've come so far. You see, I started back here, took the pins out so you could see, but I pinned it across back here, and then added the polyester fiber fill with 2 nylons. This one's a little bit darker than I like. The lighter colors is better. And down through here and glued right across there. And then pulled it down here, added. You can start seeing your features with some pins. I just stuck some pins in there, one for a dimple here, one for a little dimple there in the little lip. Now if you can't do this, you might be able to find someone who's more of a sculptor than you are. You know, you make the bottom part and let someone else help you with the top part. Again, if you're a craftsman, I challenge you that these puppets are beautiful, as you can see. And I go to arts and crafts fairs all the time, and I haven't seen them, and I know they would sell because I've been asked many times to sell my puppets. And of course, you get about 5 cents an hour, so I've made a lot of them to sell, but then I end up keeping them myself. That's one of the reasons why I've got so many. All right, now let's look at some of the heads. Like I said, this one here had too much glue. Some of these are just experimental ones. There was too much glue there, so you can see the glue there. And this has got an extra section that was added on later at the top. There's little brown animal eyes with a little white felt here, and this was sculptured. Joyce is a real craftsman, and you can find someone perhaps that is really, really good at this type of thing.